We talk a lot about the little things and organizations, even big organizations that make Acadiana a great place to live. It's the reason I'm back here. You know, you only move around for so long until you say, okay, this place is great, but
it ain't home.
It's no Acadiana. Among those, I'm here in this area, especially for young people in our area, Junior Achievement, and the things that they do to enrich the lives of young people and teach them purpose and teach them skills and how to get on in life and be successful and be happy. Look, those are all key parts of growing up, all things to learn. So it's really a big thing right here in Acadiana.
It is, and Junior Achievement is able to help these young kids because, you know, folks get involved in the program, number one, and then number two, they support things like the Business Hall of Fame that we're going to be doing next week. So want to welcome into the studio June DeBayan, who's joining us from Junior Achievement, and Trace Robbins with Capital One. And y'all, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Bernie.
How's it going?
Going great.
Fantastic.
Another great morning. All right, so June, let's start with you in terms of, okay, so people may think, Rob and I were talking about this before, about this idea, well, we think we know what Junior Achievement is, but it's so much bigger than I think people even have an idea of.
Well, Bernie, Junior Achievement teaches financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and work readiness skills to students in kindergarten through 12th grade. And we have all different types of programs that suits that particular need. And Junior Achievement Acadiana has been in existence for 20 years.
Wow.
We've been teaching children throughout Acadiana work readiness skills, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. In fact, over 80,000 students within that time span. That's a lot of students that
is a lot of students.
But we're not finished. We want to continue. And so the Business Hall of Fame, we are celebrating 20 years in Acadiana. Trace, you want to tell us a little bit?
Yeah, you know, I think it's so important when you look at especially financial literacy, and of course, being a representative from Capital One, we see customers all the time that come in and lack basic skills, even around things like balancing their checkbook. You know, they don't understand how to read a statement because they don't understand what a credit and a debit is. And, you know, it's you would think that a lot of those life skills would be taught in our public schools, but a lot of times there's a gap there, and that's what Junior Achievement steps in to sort of fill that gap, prepare young people for those challenges as they grow up and they start making their own money and they start trying to budget. You know, the B word. Nobody really likes the budget word. I always love it when my wife says, "Hey, we need to have another budget talk." That means you're spending too much money.
Let me ask you this, too. I think you were able to break a lot of myths for children and young adults, really, because, you know, it's that old concept. When we were growing up, it's, hey, I have checks in my checkbook, so I must have money. Now it's the debit card. You know, it's not like, I remember once long ago trying to explain to a young intern who was in school but working here that she couldn't just use the toll-free number to talk to her boyfriend in Canada. And she kept saying, but it's toll-free. It's free. It's free. I was like, no, sweetie, someone has to pay the bill, and that someone is us. But it's the same kind of concept. Just because you have the debit card doesn't mean you have enough money in your account.
Yeah, well, wait. When I grew up, it was checks, right?
Yeah, exactly, right.
As long as you had checks, you had money, right?
You can just keep writing those, you know.
Now, I tell you what, Bernie, we have a third grade program, Our City, that walks the children through the process of writing out a check.
I love that.
They actually write out a check. They actually fill out a deposit slip. And there is a debit card in the program that they address of how to pay bills.
Wow.
And yes, and our program is the only program that the teachers have access to in terms of that addresses how Americans pay bills these days through use of a debit card.
Yeah, because otherwise how would a kid know, you know, hey, how do mom and dad do that? You know, and you would think, okay, maybe they would teach that at home, but you know what? Parents are trying to figure out so much of what's happening with the math and the science and, you know, whatever else kids are learning. They don't necessarily have time for that. And Junior Achievement is able to come in and help that and kind of fill that gap.
Absolutely. You know, Junior Achievement is, what's great about it is, as June mentioned, it's K through 12 education. It's supplemental to what they're already being taught, but it's also grade appropriate. So each grade has their own curricula that are based on the students' learning ability at that age. And as they grow, they learn everything from like for instance, I've taught second grade before, where really you're learning about your city, you're learning about paying taxes and how taxes actually go. You know what government means, what's government's purpose, how do we pay for them? And we actually elect in class we elect a mock mayor and police chief and things like that. So the kids get an understanding really of how government works, how we give them a paycheck and then we take some of it away and give it to the government. And they're like, wait a minute, that's my money.
That's
We're
my
like,
money.
no, that's taxes. Get used to it.
I think whenever you have that, like third grade, okay, let's just say it's a third grade student, and you really are learning all the banking stuff and just learning what it means. You don't have the pressure like a college student who really does have to actually manage their money while they're learning how to do it. When I was around that age, and actually it was a Hibernia thing, which became Capital One, it was bank at school. So, I mean, there was like one day a month where you could deposit money. I mean, you had an account.
Neat.
And it just sort of demystified a lot of it where, you weren't scared of it. You had to learn, like you said, but, gosh, those things still
stick in your mind,
stick in my head that I almost can't, I can't tell you, I have to admit, and I can't believe I'm saying this to the banker, I can't remember the last time I've looked at a checkbook register because now you have an app, so it's like if you want to make sure that you got paid, you just look on the app and you see it there. So, but it's still an important thing to know because even though I'm looking at that, it's still,
you have to know
the debits and credits still make sense.
Believe me, you're not alone.
Yeah. So tell us more about the Business Hall of Fame.
Yeah, how can we get involved in that if we want to buy a ticket or?
Well, you can call the Junior Achievement of Acadiana office for tickets, 337-288-8231, or you can call Rob Landry. He is our JA Advisory Board Chairman. His number is 337-344-8338.
Now, a lot of folks are going to be honored, including our Mike Grimsley. He
Yes.
does not like attention, however, but there are other folks that will be honored that night as well.
This is I'm really excited about our event this year. It's our 20th anniversary, and I have to give a plug to who I work for, Capital One, because of what JA supports. We've been the presenting sponsor for all 20 years that the event's been existing. So, I have to pay the bills by saying that, of course. But we have so many other great sponsors as well. I know June's going to probably run down the list in just a minute. But basically, this event's coming up next week. I mean, it's here already, and it's going to be at the UL Student Union, which is a fantastic venue. If any of you have seen it, it's going to have a VIP reception for our sponsors and our honorees at 5:30. We'll have a cocktail hour, and then the award ceremony will actually start at 7:30. And then after the event, there'll be a dessert and champagne toast to all the great honorees. But I'm so excited about who we're honoring this year. We have a great lineup. I don't know, June, if you want to kind of name a few folks.
We have an awesome lineup this year. We have our laureates. That is the Top Dog Award there. Mike Grimsley, from Town Square Media. And Dr. David Fisher and his late wife, Shirley Rhodes Fisher. Fisher Early Childhood Development Center. Back then, they started the idea of nursery schools. So
it was the greatest time in my entire life.
They didn't have very many around, and so they started that. And then John Dan Gillian from ShopRite Tobacco Plus and Church Point Wholesale. Mm-hmm. He's the go-to guy.
Nice guy.
There.
Nice man.
Yeah. And then we have also the Business Person of the Year, which is Leonard Louvier from Zia's Rotisserie Grill. Wow. Rising Young Business Leader. E.B. Brooks, Elizabeth Brooks, she was the force behind the horse farm.
Yes, indeed.
And look at it today. It's awesome. Now, the Richard E. Baudouin Jr. Award goes to Jason L. Kuby from One Acadiana. Mm-hmm. Now, this is awesome. Small Business of the Year, Al Pest Control. Mm-hmm. And they are celebrating 48 years in business.
My goodness.
No, Al had an idea 48 years ago, and his business has tremendously has grown. He's got services homes in Baton Rouge and New Orleans. Now, the Large Business of the Year, Service Chevrolet. Mm-hmm. They've been in business for 50 years, so we're just excited about that. Startup Business of the Year, that's a new category for us, is Social Entertainment, and that is B.J. Chris and Gustavo Rezondi. Please help me out here. Sorry, Gus.
Okay.
And then the, University of Louisiana Lafayette B.I. Moody College of Business Award. Florence Ziegler from Stone Energy.
Wow.
We've got an
It's
awesome
going to be a
slate.
great night.
And I hear we have a great MC for that night, too.
Yes, thank you, Bernie. Thank you.
I shall be there. First, though, I do have to tell you, I'll have to find something to wear. So Rob told me that it would be okay if I took, the rest of the week off to go shopping. So that's what I'm going to do.
I know I was on a lot of medication this week and last week, but I don't remember that.
Surprisingly, the bronchitis is gone, and apparently
That's
his
great.
memory is too.
Look, as long as you don't make me go shopping with you,
That's all right.
have all the
But
time
listen,
off
wait a
you
minute.
need.
We got to pay some bills so Bernie can go shopping here.
Tell me.
We want to thank our sponsors. Capital One Bank is presenting sponsor. Thank you, Capital One, for being with Junior Achievement Acadiana for the past 20 years. Daily advertising. Town Square Media, the years of working with us and giving us airtime for us.
You guys have been awesome.
Yes, y'all have. Thank you. Cox Communications, another business that's been behind Junior Achievement for a long time. This is a new sponsor, Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, and so we are excited because they are getting the large crystal eagles.
Oh, my.
That the laureates will be receiving that night. So Mike has to bring in his eagle the next day. So
we can take pictures with it. We'll take selfies with it. Yeah.
Yes. UL Catering. They're going to cook up some delicious food for us. Acadian Ambulance, Richard Gislog and his crew. Regions Bank. Mid-South Bank, Rusty Cluche and his crew. Event Rental with Richard Young and his crew. And then eBell Designs. Thank you.
Lots of great folks coming together for this. And folks, do not miss this evening. It's going to be Tuesday of next week. June and Trace, thank y'all so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bernie.
You're welcome. And we'll see y'all. It's a week from today.
Yes.
Boy,
Wow.
it's coming fast.
Time flies.
It does.